The exact blueprint that is going to help me become a crypto millionaire this cycle. I'm going to give it to you all in this video. I'm going to show you exactly what kind of tokens you're going to need to invest in, tools you're going to be able to use to track different inflows and outflows throughout crypto so you know where the newest trends are before the masses catch on. I'm also going to show you how to vet altcoins that may come across your desk or may come across your table that you're not pretty much sure if you should invest in. I'm going to give you every single different tool you need to be able to sell the top of the markets. Not only that, I'm also going to show you how to invest in these tokens, because everyone talks about different tokens to invest in. Nobody talks about where you should be buying these tokens at and how you should be allocating the resources so that you have money on the side when things get grim and the bears come out to scare all the bulls. And most importantly, I'm going to be showing you how to protect your assets once you make all this money. Now, before I give you the altcoins, because I know it'd be very nice if I just gave you all the altcoins off rip, you can click off the video and go about your day. Well, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is not only to give you the altcoins that you should be investing in, at least a few of them to start. You should also be able to have the tools so that when new altcoins come across your desk that I may not even see, right? I'm only one person and there's millions of different altcoins out there, different meme coins, things like that. So you yourself can go out and vet these tokens all on your own 100%. The first tool that you're going to want to be using is DeFi Llama. Now, DeFi Llama, if you just look at the bar on the left side here, it looks extremely overwhelming, okay? There's tons of different things that you can search on this tool. You can search up different new NFTs. You can search up different places to get yields. You can look at the unlocks of a token. So when VCs might be dumping a token, you can check that out as well. You can check out different bridges. You can even go up here and check out different treasuries that a lot of the largest altcoins that you love hold. But the key part that I want to look at today is Bridged TVL. Now, I already have it open, and I want to show you something very, very exciting. I've been talking about Base for a long time, and I want to show you guys something pretty interesting, okay? When it comes to total amount bridged over to Base versus a lot of the other major chains, right? It's only beaten out by Solana, Tron, and Ethereum, and it's really only this low on the list at the moment because it hasn't been around as long as these other chains have. We've actually jumped Arbitrum and Binance and Avalanche, which is kind of insane. And a lot of the people that hype up Hyperliquid as well, we've also bumped them. But I'm gonna get into why Base is one of my highest conviction plays this cycle. Like, it's one of the ecosystems that you should be paying the most attention to, and all the tokens that I'm going to be talking about today are actually on the Base chain. This is a significant number for a lot of reasons. One, it shows that a lot of people are moving from other networks over to Base because they see a lot of opportunity on Base. And this is one of the things I was talking about at the beginning of the video of how you track different trends and how you can track liquidity flowing to different networks. You can use a tool like DeFi Llama to do that. So when we go in a little bit deeper and figure out what kind of value this chain is holding, remember when I told you about CBBTC, and I told you that Morpho, and I told you that Moonwell, and I told you that all Aerodrome as well was also holding a lot of CBBTC. Look at how much CBBTC is already on Base. And this is way before altcoin season. This is before Bitcoin's first big parabolic move in this cycle. And we have a ton of USDC. We also have a ton of WETH as well as wrapped ETH. And we have that CBBTC you're already starting to see grow into the billions. And a lot of this stuff is going to a lot of the tokens I'm going to talk about in just a moment. The second thing now is to figure out what kind of altcoins do we want to buy on this particular chain. And this is usually the hardest part for most people, but lucky enough for you, you're subscribed to the channel. If you're not subscribed, subscribe right now, because I'm going to give you 3 tokens to start off with. And I'll throw in a bonus one for you as well. Starting off with Ondo. If you guys don't know what Ondo is, Ondo works with BlackRock. They have a partnership with BlackRock. They invest in US treasuries. They also hold a ton of value as far as total value locked on their BUIDL fund. I don't want to get too technical or get in too deep into the token itself, but just understand that when it comes to RWA plays, Ondo is one of the leaders in this space. I can go on and on and on and on and talk about how much value Ondo brings. I remember we had the Ondo Summit just a few months ago, and the likes of Visa, MasterCard, Fidelity, a lot of massive traditional finance brands were at the Ondo Summit trying to figure out what Ondo is, and if it's even something that they should be investing in. It doesn't take the smartest guy in the room to figure out that you should probably go and do your research and figure out what Ondo is about. Second token on the list is Morpho. Now, Morpho is similar to Aave. It's a blending and borrowing platform, and this is also a platform that holds a lot of CBBTC that I showed you on the base chain. Now, the big key factor for Morpho for you should be that they're working closely with Coinbase, but they also have $2.7 billion locked in total value locked at the moment. I do see an easy 10x for something like Morpho. The amount of market cap needed to have a 10x would be around $3.3 billion, and they're only about $500 million shy of that mark in total value locked. Now, if you know anything about most tech companies are valued a lot higher than the value that they hold in the actual protocols themselves. Tech company valuations often utilize various multiples with revenue multiples like 10 to 25x or 15 to 20x. So what does this mean? This means that a lot of the time, especially when we get into the very most parabolic phase of the bull run, you're going to see a lot of overvaluations. I remember there was tokens like Wonderland Memories. If anyone remembers what that is, insane. I think they had about $1 billion in total value locked. When I tell you it was literally a Ponzi scheme. So we have real assets with real market value and real TVL. Now, the biggest play on the base chain, in my humble opinion, is Aerodrome. Aerodrome's closest comparison will probably be Uniswap in the last bull run. In the last bull run, Uniswap was able to reach a $22 billion market cap. Aerodrome is currently sitting at a $493 million market cap. Super, super, super low compared to where I believe this asset can go in the future. And I'm going to give you one more key altcoin. Now, this one's a little bit higher risk, but in my opinion, is still a no-brainer. Research Coin, baby. I haven't talked about Research Coin in so long, but this is something we called out a long time ago, I believe at a $14 million market cap. So we're still currently up around a 3x, roughly or so. Research Coin is actually co-founded by Brian Armstrong, the founder of Coinbase. The founder of Coinbase. I don't need to spend too much more time on that. I've had tons of videos in the past talking about it. Most of my altcoin videos that I have on my channel, I talk about Research Coin and the money we were able to make off Research Coin on this big spike over here, right? Selling off over here. And we've been able to buy back Research Coin at a pretty decent level. Most of the time people lose sight and get too much greed. You see massive overvaluations. And this is one of them that could go absolutely nuts. You're talking about one of the biggest names and the biggest faces in crypto in general. The founder and owner of Coinbase also is a co-founder of Research Coin. It doesn't get any easier than that. And you can thank me for that. So please, by thanking me, like the video and also share the video. Don't be selfish, okay? The fact that you saw this video and you know it could help someone else that you know, share it around. Let them see this information too. The bull run is starting to kick back up again. We saw Bitcoin spike over $100,000. Share the video. Help them out. Get into some of these projects before it's too late and all the money's made, okay? We've been making money on this channel for an entire year now, almost an entire year. So do that for me. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Now, some of you may be thinking, oh, I saw the most important parts of this video. Let me log off. No. You haven't seen the most important parts of this video yet, okay? This is one of the most important parts of this video. This is D.Fi, and the sole purpose of this app is to scan different token addresses. Now, so we're gonna come over to CoinGecko. We're gonna copy the contract address of Aerodrome. We're gonna go back to D.Fi. We're gonna go to Scanner, and we're gonna plug in the Aerodrome contract address, and it's gonna give you a score of how safe it is to invest. Now, it's gonna give you all the vulnerabilities, and it's gonna give you all the good things about the token. It's gonna give you the top 10 holders. Obviously, you don't want the top 10 holders to have a massive amount versus the rest of the holders, because that's a dump risk, obviously. And this is still mintable because obviously they're still minting tokens. I think about half of the supply is still out for Aerodrome, so nothing to worry about there. But it's going to give you a detailed breakdown, and it's going to give you any vulnerabilities in the contract code and the smart contract. And you can do this for any token. I have a few videos on this before, but I thought it was important to put in this video, but we're not going to stick here too long. Let that marinate, and we're going to move forward, and we're going to get right on to the next tool to help you win this year and become a crypto millionaire. So this site right here is called cryptorank.io, and the only thing that I particularly use this site for is to figure out different token unlocks and token schedules. You can also do this on DeFi Llama, the app I showed you before. I'm going to come over here, and I actually want to put in Morpho, perfectly comes up, and I want to click on vesting at the top here, and I want to look at what the vesting schedule is like. We're going to use the chart, and as you can see here, it actually gives you a detailed breakdown of every single month so that you know exactly how much tokens are going to be unlocked. So if you see days where there's going to be massive token unlocks, chances are that you're going to have better buying opportunities on these days. And we're actually going through some of these larger months right now where around 3% is getting unlocked a month. And then it teeters off towards the end of 2025. Surprise, surprise. Might be the top of the market, might not be. We'll see where it goes. This is a very important tool because on the side here, you can actually also see how much some of these founders and different strategic partners hold and how much of the tokens are unlocked and how much is yet to be unlocked. You can see all this information from something like cryptorank.io, and this is one of the best tools in crypto in my opinion to help protect yourself from getting dumped on by a lot of these VCs. What you need to be doing is holding your funds in a private wallet. So you need to buy something like a ledger, okay? If you buy a ledger and store your crypto on a ledger, you need to be keeping it in a fireproof case in case of a fire. You need to be keeping that ledger in a plastic bag and put it in a fireproof case just in case you have a flood. And then you need to be keeping it in a safe, okay? And obviously keep the safe somewhere where you know no one's going to find it. Last but not least, keep the seed phrases split and keep them in 2 separate locations. You can go buck wild and keep them in 4 different locations. You can go by memory and just try to remember them. You can even buy these things called capsules on Ledger's website where you can actually carve out the seed phrase. You can do a plethora of things. This is personally what I do, okay? And not only that, even my MetaMask, I have assets on different various private hot wallets. You want to make sure that you're doing the same thing with those seed phrases. Not only that, you also want to make sure that you are using a device that you only use to store your crypto. You don't want to be doing a whole bunch of things on the internet or downloading software or anything like that on these laptops that you're using to store these various different hot wallets. Okay, this is how you protect yourself from crypto. Don't answer random Zoom calls. Don't click random links. When you buy it and shift your money over from one of these Coinbases or Crypto.coms or whatever, and you shift it over to your private wallet, leave the device alone. Only use it for crypto activities. And that also means you do not just connect your hot wallet to random websites either. Make sure they are reputable. You should have a secondary dummy wallet where you can send some money to, connect that dummy wallet to the website, do your lending, your borrowing, or whatever you want to do on that site. Once you have your assets back, send them back to your private wallet, your hot wallet, or your ledger that you keep away from everything else. This is how you protect your money, okay, in the cycle. This is how you protect your crypto. I see too many people fall victim to scams. I do not want that to be you. 90% of people to 95% of people probably won't sell at the right time either. So you don't want that to be you. So I'm going to hop into the charts that you should be using to make sure you sell at the top of the market. Most importantly, more than anything, is the ISM. The ISM is the business cycle. The business cycle is the debt cycle. I'm not going to get into it. I make Bitcoin update videos whenever I feel the need to. I made one last week, Saturday. You can go check that out on my channel. And it details exactly everything that's happening in the market. This is one of the key metric points that I use now more frequently. I didn't always use this. I didn't know this existed for a long time. I'm so happy that I found it. It has accurately predicted the tops of altcoin season and the tops of a lot of altcoins and Bitcoin for years. And I want to show you something. The top of the first top, right, of that year in 2021, it peaked up at 64, almost 65 points on the ISM. The neutral mark is 50 just a heads up. And we're actually below that right now, which should tell you a lot about where we are in the cycle. We haven't even done anything yet. The cycle before that, end of 2017, beginning of 2018, look at where the ISM was peaking at, right around 60. So where do you think we should be looking to peak at in this cycle? I'd probably say anywhere above 55 to maybe when you creep up around 58, start selling off a lot of your assets. Maybe hold a moon bag in case we go above 60. This is why we use these tools, because they predicted things in the past. And they've even predicted a lot of the dips that we had. I don't need to say what this dip was. Everybody knows what that dip was. So if you want to make money in crypto and you want to become a crypto millionaire this cycle, this is the blueprint you should be using. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.